Rangasamida, Om Shanti, peace to you, peace to me. Hello and welcome to another video. Funny language coming out of my mouth. Hello and welcome to another video. My name's Peter and today I want to talk about how I detached from the mainstream media and started looking for the truth. Whoa! What is the truth? My truth, your truth, everybody's truth is different. But why and how I did this? Well, firstly, it really started at school when I started to question everything. I actually started to question everything when I was a child. It was a real pain to my mother and father, but that's a different story. I started to question everything, and I remember I went to a Catholic school when we were learning about Jesus, and then I put my hand up and said, this man is a remarkable man. He did lots of great things. Why aren't your priests doing this? Why aren't your priests living and teaching like this? And of course I was thrown out of the class for asking such a blasphemous question. So Jesus is a fascinating character, wonderful. Christ consciousness is amazing research when you go past the religion and you meet people who are actually really deeply into the religion. Same with the Muslim religion and the Jewish religion. If you actually understand, meet people who understand the esoteric versions of it, really cool. But I was thrown out of that class, and then it came to my study. I decided, for some reason, well, there's always a reason for something. I studied economics and politics at A level standard, which is above O level, so 18. I took the exams, and it came to two things that really really shocked me. Firstly, I kept on asking about the banking system. Where does the money come from? Where does the money come from? I kept putting the hand up and they kept blah 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 blah, like politicians, the teachers were like uffing and guffing around, not actually giving you any solid answer. You never knew where the money came from. It was, they were saying it was a big circular thing. And when you realise about fractional reserve banking and how it's set up today, you see that the money is made up of thin air. So we're paying interest to bankers who create money out of thin air. So I've detached from that, definitely. I've detached from that. So it was also in the politics, economics and politics A level that I took. I learned about quangos, like non-government organisations that help to form policy, and it's the one with the deepest pockets seems to be the one who dictates the most policies, more so in America, I think, than the UK. Still here though, still very corrupted. And I put my hand up and said, this is not right. Well, so we need to get the experts in, and the experts are all kind of enormous conflicts of interest. So I'm looking at this and going, do I really want to be part of this world? No, I don't. So that was my schooling, and I walked away from that scratching my head thinking, well, what am I going to do? Because they give you choices. They say, well, you can get into banking. The school I went to, get into the banking, get into the media, get into all these higher echelon sort of careers that really just bring you into the system and feed you more lies. So I thought, no, I'm not having any of that. So I chose sales, and that lasted not very long, and I became a musician, which was the best thing I did, because it helped me find my truth, find my true self, and I really lived a life rather than living somebody else's life. It was fantastic. So it helped me to break away, detach from the mainstream media, detach from this crazy life and meme that we live in. And then I really saw the corruption of the mainstream media when I went up to the banking demonstration in the city of London, outside the Bank of England. And I was there, and we got kettled in. I found an alley out anyway, but we got kettled in, and people were stuck in there. So they were being forced together by the police. And there was the guy who died, and there was a few agent provocateurs who were in the group that had gathered, and they started smashing up a window, but everybody stood back and said, no, we're not part of this. Who are these people? They were the only ones with their face covered. So they were trying to get a riot going. They were trying to get people to riot, but no, we're all intelligent, peaceful people saying, well, the banking system needs to be reformed and looked at. It can't carry on the way that it is. And then you've got a couple of thugs smashing the hell out of a bank. It's not the high street banks, you pillocks. Even though they're part of this whole game that we live in, it was incredible, but it got worse. So apparently this guy was beaten up and he died, and he had blood all across his face. And I saw the very first edition of the Evening Standard. The Evening Standard is a local London paper. The very first edition came out and had the picture of this guy with blood all over him. And he said the demonstrations outside the Bank of England turned into a bloodbath. And I was reading this article and I go, well, this isn't where I was at. It was really peaceful. Lots of people having actually good interactions, good conversations. What a lie! An enormous lie on the front page of the Evening Standard. And to see it for your own eyes, you go, I'm not going to read any of this rubbish anymore. This is just all complete propaganda. Propaganda it is. So that's what really made me detach from the mainstream media. And then after that I went on to watch a movie called Loose Change, the final edit, Loose Change. And bless all the people who died in 9/11, bless all the millions plus who died in the wars after that. But Loose Change is an enormous paradigm shift for me, because I was watching that and I had to watch it 2 or 3 times to really get it, and then all of a sudden my consciousness shifted. I went, wow, we've even been lied to about that. And really, I would urge you to go and watch the film yourself, Loose Change, final edition. I think it's even on Netflix and things like that. It's not a shied away from movie. They're putting it out there, and the information in that movie, just 1 or 2 are smoking guns, but it just goes one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I urge you to go and watch it, but make sure you stay detached from it, because it will make you angry when you actually really perceive what has happened there, how that was a problem created for a reaction from the people. So you can get problem, reaction, and then the meme that we live in can offer you a solution. The Hegelian dialect, that's what that was. So Loose Change. And then my journey went on. I'm really starting to completely detach from the meme that we live in now, and then I went to see David Icke. Let's go off planet here. I took my wife to see David Icke, and I was worried about the reptilian thing, what she was going to think of that. And she was really into Van Doniken's research anyway, who had been researching extraterrestrial sort of visitations of this planet. Really incredible research. So David Icke really now, he just talks about the archons, which you go into the Gnostics and the Nag Hammadi texts, and really it's the classic dark against light. So we went to see him, and he broke down so much of the corruption in this world today. It was jaw-dropping, and we realised that, say for instance, just take one from that, you got Big Pharma want to take you from cradle to grave, dependent on their services. And there was a event 201 I saw about the pandemic that we're going through in April 2020 now, that they've been planning it. They've been planning this pandemic, and then you've got other people who are speaking at these big forums like Davos, saying, well, we can create markets now in countries with health. So they're talking from the pharmaceutical industry position, talking about creating markets in countries where people aren't that sick. You couldn't make this stuff up. So this is where my research has gone, and I even detach more from it now. Detach more from it. It's almost like a different world over there. I don't really want to be part of it. So all of this made me go my exploration into consciousness and seeing the bigger picture and how this all works. And really, Eckhart Tolle said, if you live in your comfort zone all the time, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. You're just going to sit there. It's all comfortable. You might have a nice income, thank you very much. You might have this, that, the other big material stuff, but you don't grow. What you need to do is push yourself past your comfort zone. Make your stress bucket bigger so you can take on more stuff, and you become more aware of yourself. Really important. The journey is really important. So moving away from anger and fear into love and cooperation are really what we do when we break away from this matrix of, look at my fancy car, look at my big house, oh my goodness, I am so successful, I have a wife there, I have 5 mistresses over there. You know, all this garbage that we think is successful in the material world is not. And people who get elevated through it, like people like Bill Gates is a classic example. His father was up there in the echelons of the society. He comes along, gets into Microsoft. He's a software engineer. Now he's a health expert. I put my hands up and say, no, you're not an expert over my health. Thank you very much. So it's moving from anger and fear to love and cooperation. That's really important. That's why we detach from the mainstream media and the meme that we're born into. And I hope you can find like-minded people in your local area and find some fun, peace and love. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Sarang Hamida.